Hi there, my name is Beck and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So, Star Trek Discovery's back, yay! So now it's kind of clear why it was really important for them to rush out Lower Decks, although rush it out, they had like 2 years to film that, correct, I think, to rush out Lower Decks before Discovery Season 3 aired, which I still can't believe that they're actually making a third season. I mean, I really cannot believe they're making a third season of this show, which it has just failed in every conceivable way. It doesn't have viewers. Nobody likes it. It hasn't brought people into the stream. So I can't think of any reason why they would possibly keep this on other than contractual obligation, and it's better than getting into litigation with Alex Kurtzman. That's really the only thing I can think of. And even then, I just think Star Trek in general opens us to the how would I describe it? The incredible corporate world that most of us are not privy to. And just the breathtaking inefficiency and terrible decision-making that is replete within. It's just, oh my God, there are billions of dollars being wasted by bozos. And the only reason we're seeing it this time is because it's happening on Star Trek, and we happen to like Star Trek. Or at least we used to happen to like Star Trek, not so much anymore. So anyway, listen, I took detailed notes while I was watching the episode, so we can go through it together. I've watched it so you don't have to, but I get the feeling Star Trek fans are just like, yeah, I don't care. I'm done. Don't care. I think Doctor Who fans are going to be there next year as well. I just don't care. Again, it's amazing to me. It's absolutely amazing to me. It's the opposite of a divine miracle that this got made. Anyway, so we're going to be talking about this. But it's very clear to me why they had to have Lower Decks go before Discovery is, because everything by comparison seems better. It is. Lower Decks is the ultimate wingman for Discovery, because you go, well, oh God, it didn't make me want to vomit in my own mouth. I might quite like it. So we're going to be talking about that. Before we get there, though, can I ask you guys, can you hit the like button? That'd be great. Can you hit the share button? That'd be also great. But really, the button I really want you to press is the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. I'm like 10 subscribers away from 1,800 subscribers, and when I hit 2,000, I think is when my Indiegogo is going to go. It is going to start, right? So, we're getting there. So can I ask you, can you hit the subscribe button? That'd be great. Of course, if you subscribe, other than making a rabbi very, very, very happy, which you do. Don't delude yourself that any of this is fake. I am 100% a complete whore for your subscribers, your subscription. I 100% am. I make no bones about the fact. But other than that, if you subscribe, you can enter my competitions. The prize this week, you get a twofer. You get a double prize this week. It is Shakara, this absolutely bonkers graphic novel hardback, actually, by Henry Flint and Robbie Morrison. It's got all this cool black and white art with like little hints of red. Freaking love this one. It's bonkers. And you also get this one, Red Razors. Red Razors is a spin-off from Just Red, set in the deeply capitalist Russia of the 2200s, I guess. It's like 50 years after Just Red. And it's a bonkers tale, another bonkers sci-fi tale. This one's much funnier, actually, by Mark Millar and Steve Yeowell, mainly. There's another, Nigel Dobbyn, I think, does the latest strip, with them on the chase to rescue Elvis's corpse, which is a religious artifact now in Russia, and it has been stolen. His partner is Comrade Ed, a genetically engineered horse that can talk. Just a lot of fun. These are both come from 2000 AD. So to win them, all you got to do is subscribe to the channel, and in the comments put the hashtag Zarjazz. Go check the video notes, just copy and paste. It's easy to do. And the prize draw is on Sunday, 2 days from now, Sunday, the 18th. Fine, let's talk about Star Trek Discovery, Season 3, Episode 1. And of course, Star Trek Discovery because it's got an incredibly, pompous? I think pompous is a pretty good word. Pretentious. Yeah, pretty pompous and pretentious title. What's that one? There was one that was really just grating. Does the lamb cry in the abattoir? So, oh God, it was just like, stop. You're not doing anything impressive. So this one is The Hope That Is You. The Hope That Is You. And that you, of course, is Michael Burnham. Michael Burnham the most perfectest person ever. She's wonderful. The only person who could ever be more perfect would be Ray. Just the best as ever. And now she is the personification of hope. The personification of hope. Now, as I said, this isn't as bad as Lower Decks. This is not as bad as Lower Decks. This is not as bad as Picard. Actually, I say it's about this. It's in terms. Okay, we got to look at this in two ways. We got to look at this as an episode of television and an episode of Star Trek. So, episode of Star Trek is not good. Episode of Star Trek. This is unlike Lower Decks, which I think is taking an extended defecation on Star Trek. Just an extended defecation on Star Trek, and wasn't funny in any way, and just had the most terrible main character. Married with just the worst person ever, who was hanging out with the other worst person ever. It's not taking a massive poop on Star Trek, but it's detached from Star Trek. I see nothing about this episode. There's really nothing about it that links it to Star Trek other than a few very, very peripheral things. Other than that, really, it's not so. So in terms of Star Trek, not good at all. In terms of just an hour of sci-fi entertainment or entertainment in general, not really that good either. I mean, it's not as bad as it is when judging it as Star Trek, but it's just very bland. Because I think there's been there's a genuine effort to not chase away the audience. I think there's a real genuine effort going on to do it, and so they're really trying to cut down on all the divisive stuff, which they can barely get their head around. They can't understand, but they try. And so when you take that out, you just get something bland. It's bland. It's very, very bland. I would say it's a bland rip-off of a bunch of other stuff. But okay, let's go through the plot of what we saw. So it starts off with a recap of season 2. Horrible! Don't remind us of season 2. Season 2 was one of the worst things ever. Horrible, terrible idea. Do not do that. And they just reminded us how stupid the plot was. That there was an AI that wasn't an AI that wanted to be an AI, and a big planet worth of information that Discovery had. The big planet had been collecting stuff for like 1,000 years, whatever, a lot of information. And if that AI that isn't an AI, if that AI that isn't sentient gets it, it will become sentient. And then, I don't know, but these are different AIs to the AIs in Picard. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe it does become sentient and they're in this other side of the universe thing. Who knows? Who knows? Who cares? So anyway, Discovery has a brilliant plan. Well, not Discovery, Burnham. Burnham with a big wide-eyed acting. And God, why does she do that? It's so bad. Had this great plan to fly Discovery into the future so the AI can't get its hand on the information and become sentient. But before they go through the future, the wormhole into the future, they defeat the AI. So there's really no point of doing it whatsoever. But forget that. Logic and reason doesn't really matter that much in season 2 of Discovery. I was going to say this is better than anything I saw in season 2 of Discovery. Fine. So we're recapped slightly. And Burnham is in a time-traveling Iron Man costume, and she leads the Discovery through. Fine. So there we go. So it opens up, and there's a holographic bird as an alarm clock, and it's waking up this guy in a very, very sparse set. So that's the first thing I noticed. There is zero props going on in this season. The set, I'm not objecting, is essentially just a blank room, and everything he interacts with, this dude, is CGI. Everything is CG, right? Everything is computer generated in a bare set. And look, that's just what it is. So he wakes up every day, and he goes and he sits at a desk with a Federation little case, a little Federation box, and doesn't really do much, but he does that over and over and over again. Every single day. That's his dedicated mission, and you don't really know what's going on. You don't really know what's going on. So cut to this other bloke, this new character who's called Book, I think. Yeah, does Kurtzman just get a book of fun facts of science fiction and thumb through and stop randomly and go, Firefly Reverend Book, yeah, we'll use that name. Yeah, we'll do that. And Andromeda, yeah, we'll take that plot. But is that how it works? It could be. It sounds like it's how it works. This new Book is involved in a chase. Obviously Book is a black Englishman, because there are no white males left in this universe. And if they are, they're bad. They're all very bad. But there are no white males left in this universe. The patriarchy has been finally shattered in this glorious future where everything is bad. Okay, fine. So there's this chase going on, and the ship's designs are freaking terrible. Book's ship looks like a bit of a wing. It's got it's just freaking terrible. And he's being chased by a guy in what looks to me like a ice cream scoop. You think I'm making this up. You think I'm being like not charity. No, go look for yourself. Freaking awful. I wouldn't be surprised if these were the designs that licensees would not sign off on for Picard. But do they have licensees for the Discovery Season 3? I mean, does it even matter? I honestly, I don't think any metric matters whatsoever. With Discovery, with Star Trek, with Doctor Who, I don't think any metric actually matters. I guess we'll find out as time goes on. He seems to be involved in some kind of like criminal enterprise. He's stolen some stolen property, right? And so you get the feeling he's into it, but then you get a line saying, the guy who stole it said, "It doesn't belong to you," and he says it belongs to himself as he flies away. Okay, fine, whatever. So clearly he's noble, but they're telegraphing that. In the middle of this, there's wreckages of starships around the ship, which around this planet they're near, which actually that was kind of good. I didn't mind that. Listen, the CGI, which is everywhere in this episode, is pretty good. It's pretty good. I give credit where credit's due. So through all this, Burnham spat out of this wormhole from 930 years in the past, and she smashes into this ship, causing them both to crash, making me think that both of them aren't really that, that doesn't strike me as the best designed things. They both like crash on this planet, which fortunately is an M-class planet. Okay. Yeah, they do find things conveniently in Discovery. See, this is one of the things I hate about Discovery, in that it's not written by people who like science fiction. People who like science fiction have some element of scientific curiosity and knowledge, right? And they know you can't have sonar in space. It's unlikely in space you're going to find a platform to build your Iron Man time travel suit. They know, like, randomly. They know that's unlikely. So, and also crashing on an M-class planet, reasonably unlikely, okay? So it's unlikely. But anyway, they do. Bit of luck. And we get, like, a lot of, like, this wide-eyed acting from Burnham, from what's the name, Sonequa Martin Green. I tell this story often. Yeah, my parents used to have these absolutely epic Christmas parties, which is a bit, incongruous for the Jews. But we had epic, which I think one of the reasons why I love Christmas. I freaking love Christmas. I like Christmas trees, I like the whole thing. So anyway, at one of these parties, friends of my parents, they would be dancing. It's like, imagine, keep in mind, it's 1981. They're boogieing down, right? And they're really bad at it. This woman, a friend of my parents, is like just this comically bad dancer. My mother, who wasn't the kindest soul. Let's just say, had a bit of a acerbic wit. I say all my bad traits, which I really love. I love all my bad traits. They all come from my mother, like my snobbiness, my derivation. All that just comes directly from my mother. And she said, somebody did the terrible thing to her. This friend of hers who was dancing, and told her that she was a good dancer. And now she does it all the time. So somebody did the same thing to Sonequa Martin Green and said, that performance, that unbelievably bad performance, when you're staring, that's the one. We like that performance. That performance that, like, no human has ever acted in that way ever before. Yeah, we want more of that, because that says Star Trek to us. So anyway, she does a lot of wide-eyed stuff as she tries to reboot her suit so she doesn't crash and die horribly. I'm rooting for the crashing and dying horribly, but no, it doesn't happen. So she lands, she crashes on the planet, and then we get more wide-eyed acting. Ooh, like it's terrible. I mean, like her performance is not good. It's not good at all. I'm sorry. I don't think she's a terrible actress. I just think she's got terrible direction. That's what I think is going on, and it's the way that they've established this character as being. I don't know. I just don't know why they think any of this was good decisions. Yeah, although. I say the same thing about the Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and I've tried to rewatch it many times, and I don't think I've got through the whole thing because every creative decision I come across, I go, why do they think that was a good idea? So again, same thing here. So that she crashes on the planet, and then she has a bit of a whoop, and she's ecstatic when she finds out it's not a deserted planet. There's people on it. It's an M-class planet, darling. They're probably at a bit of a premium. You're probably going to find. So if you're lucky enough to land on one, you're probably going to find people who live there. So then we're back in the titles. They're essentially the same. They're these little I don't know. They look like these little robots. If you ever saw Battle of the Planets. Battle of the Planets was a cartoon in the 80s in England. It was a bad dub of this anime thing called Gatchaman. And it sticks in my mind because it had like these 7 superhero kids who would transform, and one of them was a girl called Princess. And they would have her do the spin in the titles. And you'll see her knickers. And that for me was the height of eroticism. So yeah, that stuck with me. So yeah, so in that thing, in this thing, Battle of the Planets, they inserted in this extra bit of crappy animation with a robot in it, 7 Zark 7. That's what these robots look like in the titles. And I guess they're going to mean something at some point, but who cares? Who cares? So then we get the titles. So then she meets up with the guy whose ship she calls to crash. Again, it has to be a black Englishman. There can't be anything else. I can see that's why he was clearly not a bad guy, but honestly, I feel terrible for anybody black or for anybody who is any form of minority whatsoever working in the entertainment industry now, because there's no way you could feel comfortable. You are being hired solely on your talent. You're being hired on your identity, which I just think is terrible. I think it's a terrible thing to do to people. That's just me for you. Burnham meets this guy and they fight. And of course she wins. Yeah, she totally gets the drop on him because she's Michael Burnham. She's the bestest ever. And if you like that, you might like the show. There's a Gorn name drop, I think, at some point. And then we get... Oh, yeah. So then she finds out the Federation is over. And we get some, wide-eyed, tearful acting from Burnham. Again, just awful. Absolutely awful. She is not the strongest part of the show. But what is? What is? I mean, I guess Saru. The sets are pretty good. They spent $1 gazillion, which you aren't going to see any sets in this episode because I think that's where they save the money. So yeah, look, this show looks a lot cheaper than anything that came before. So we go inside the bloke ship, and also in there, his set. Pretty empty. All these sets are completely empty with lots of CGI going on to make you not notice. And he has a very large a space cat, or just a normal cat called Grudge. And he says he's space broke. Like what? What's going on? And actually they use these words space broke. They don't have any money. So what's happened? I think have they told us this yet? No, we find out soon. So then they travel to this colonist settlement, so the guy can get new dilithium to fix his ship, which again looks like a bit of a wing. I don't know what one of the great things about Star Trek is that constant design aesthetic of Federation ships, or we have constant design aesthetic of Klingon ships. So there are design aesthetics, and even when you move into the future, they retain that design aesthetic, and it looked kind of cool. We saw the original Enterprise, we saw the Next Gen Enterprise, we saw the Enterprise E, we've seen the Enterprise J from the show Enterprise, and they always have that kind of same design aesthetic, which we all kind of really liked. The only time I really didn't like it was in Picard when they all looked identical. God, it's just crazy. crap. It's all just crap. So anyway, so he needs to get new dilithium for his ship, and she's going to try and find a transponder so she can try and get in contact with a Discovery, and she's going to trade her tricorder, which is now an antique, it's 1,000 years old, to get what she needs. So apparently, in a post-apocalyptic future, the antique market still doing well. You wouldn't have thought so, would you? You wouldn't have thought so that the antique market does well in post-apocalyptic world. So why is this world post-apocalyptic? And why is the Federation gone? Because they had this thing called the Burn. The Burn made most of the lithium in the world go boom. So I would have thought the Romulan Star Empire, had it still been existent, because that was gone by the time of Picard. They all be fine, because didn't they powered their ships through a warp singularity, they had a black hole where they contained. I don't think they used dilithium. I could be wrong. So, but who cares? Because nothing matters. So we get more terrible Burnham acting, and oh god, it's awful. When she finds out the Federation's gone, she says, "It's not gone. It's not possible." The Federation, it's gone, baby. It's gone. So she said, but the Federation's not about ships. It's about a vision. So, it might have been about a vision in her age, which was like 10 years before the original series. But by Picard, that vision had pretty much gone, hadn't it? That vision is completely tainted, right? Everybody's mean to each other. Is that vision of the future where people were nicer? That's all gone. That vision is completely gone. So why are they even referencing it? It's beyond me. It's absolutely beyond me how bizarrely stupid these people are. But okay, but they do. So they reach this city, and everything is completely computer generated. Nothing's real. It looks like they shot it inside a very sparse hangar. It seems to me they probably reused one of the larger hangar sets from Picard. That's probably what they did. I don't think they built anything original for this. Because again, CGI freaking everywhere. So this, I think this place, the city is run by an alliance between the Orions and the Andorians. So Burnham's like, the Andorians and the Orions are working together. Well, they sound kind of similar. And she said there's a line about Andorians don't do fun. Excuse me, what about Shran? From Enterprise. One of the best things about Enterprise. What's his name? Played him. It was freaking awesome. He had fun. He had a three-dimensional character. Something that you don't see so much in Star Trek nowadays. So anyway. So Book takes gets her into this place by saying they're going to sell her stuff, and he tricks her into going into the vault where she gets captured as a criminal, so he can steal the rest of her antique stuff. Because I tell you, post-apocalyptic Star Trek world, post-apocalyptic, they love their antiques. They love their freaking antiques. So he's going to steal all the stuff and sell them. So Burnham's captured by the Orion Andorian Syndicate and is interrogated, and they give her a doser with this super weed type of stuff. They get her high, and amazingly, a super high Burnham is even more annoying than not super high Burnham. You wouldn't have thought it was possible, but indeed it's possible. So she's high, and she eventually unknowingly snitches on Book. So the security services go and capture him. You do see Morn, the guy from Deep Space Nine who sat at the bar, who never said anything, named after Norm from Cheers, as one of them. You saw those in the trailer though. And of course, the drugged up Burnham is able to steal the security guards' people's guns and fight with Book, and they get out, and because she's the bestest ever. Honestly, I just wish. And again, I know they seem to be doing their best, but I just wish they would watch Star Trek, and so they have an idea what it's like. Because this is nothing like Star Trek, nothing at all like Star Trek whatsoever. So on their way out, Burnham steals the dilithium. And then they run into this little weird beaming chase where they have personal transporters and they beam few miles away, and then they're out the set. They're back on location filming again, back to Iceland, which is I guess where they filmed everything. And they and then the security forces they beam in, they beam somewhere else, they beam somewhere. Eventually, Book and Burnham beams into water, and they can't be traced in water. Okay, for some reason, just. Do any of them actually think this through? All through this, Burnham keeps occasionally punching Book in the face for turning her in and stealing her stuff, right? So then when they get a couple of minutes to breathe, Book does this like weird religious trance thing and makes a bloom foam rubber plant grow up out of the water, which then Burnham uses to heal herself from being shot. Yeah, she was shot and she's fine. Okay, finally, who cares? So Book then says, "Oh look, look, you can use my phone to call Discovery." It says they can phone at any time. Say that she does again everything CG. Boop, boop, boop. She does the CG thing to try and call Discovery, but no Discovery. Can't find Discovery. So Burnham tells Book that she's a time traveler. She came from 1,000 years in the past. And Book says, "Oh, the time travel check has been discarded and like thrown away after the temporal wars." Well, the temporal wars, the Cold War, the temporal Cold War from Enterprise. Oh, who cares? Who cares? It doesn't really matter. So they get back to their ship, their crappy looking ship. Again, CG, everything CG. That's cloaked, and they're caught by the Andorians and the Orions, and we find find out what this guy stole, which was a giant J.J. Abrams looking space worm thing that comes, and it's clear that the Orion said, "Don't kill it. It tastes better when it's fresh." So they're gonna eat this thing, That's their plan. And the thing comes out and it eats a bunch of security people, and they all run away. Right? That's what happens. And then it eats Burnham as well, but Book talks it into spitting Burnham out, so she's covered in goo for a little bit of the time. For some unknown reason, because he was just eaten by a giant J.J. Abrams space worm slug thing. So turns out that Book is as completely predictable, is a very noble character. He's saving endangered species. He's saving endangered species because there's no more Federation anymore. To save endangered species. And it turns out Book is this kind of weird empathic person connected to all things, because if you're black, that's basically the only character you can play. You have to play like a soulful, soft person. So if you're a black guy, you got to play a soulful, soft person. That's the only role you're allowed in Hollywood now. And if you're a big buff muscular man, even better. The more they can feminize you, the absolute better. They go back to Book's planet, which is called Sanctuary, and it's the idyllic planet of the non-white males. There's like lots of people there, nobody a white male as far as I can see. And they set free the J.J. Abrams giant worm thing to have her babies, to just point out how incredibly bad the other people were. They were going to eat the pregnant worm thing. So then we got, this is a bit painful. Then we have Book thanking Burnham for sacrificing everything and coming into the future. I just want to remind you that she didn't need to do it. She came into the future to save the future from the AI, right, which was defeated. But she gets so he thanks her. But the thanking her was really him thanking all women. Burnham is all women, and so that makes this guy okay, because he's able to acknowledge the wonderfulness of Burnham. So thank her, which is the right and proper thing to do. So Book takes her to the person who thinks can help her find Discovery, which is the Indian dude from the beginning of the episode, and he is like one of the last remaining parts of Starfleet. So Starfleet, he's in it seems to be like a bit of a star base. The only everything else is like debris all around him. And he says he wakes up every day and scans for new Starfleet signals. He can only scan this little section of space because there's no communication anymore. That's all gone because of the burn. And that's what he does every day. There's 2 starships apparently they have. So why not call one of them over and tell them to have a go those able to find something? No, okay, whatever. So they have 2, and he says this is what he's been doing every single day for 40 years with no success. And he's waiting. He's been waiting for hope, and that hope is you. Part 1. The hope is you, by the way. So she went up. She's gone from being the person who started the war, who could have finished it. Everybody should have listened to her. She's the best as ever. To now, she's a personification of hope. Yes, she's a personification of hope. So he's like, it takes my father was a Federation officer, one of the last ones, but it takes a commissioned Federation officer to commission another one. So Burnham then commissions him. He's all very tearful, and we get a look inside his little case, which has a Federation flag, which they then fly. So again, Michael Burnham is the most important person in the universe now. And probably in the most important universe, this guy probably soon to everyone. So they rise the flag. We have this line like, "Our numbers are few, our spirit is undiminished." I think it's pretty diminished. Looks pretty diminished. Together we will make it better. So then we get an idea what the season's going to be about. They're going to try and work out what caused this burn. What was the burn and what caused it? It's probably one of the many problems with season 2 was the story was more complicated than their talent to tell it. Right? They throw a bunch of stuff out there and they thought they'll just be able to wrap it all up, and they just did a horrible job because they are freaking awful at their job. Okay, they're freaking awful at their jobs. The writers of this. This is a much simpler story. They will probably be able to do it. Again, I doubt it's going to have any relationship to Star Trek whatsoever. It was a missable, bland experience. There's no. I mean, again, at least in season 2, it was so unbelievably awful. You had so much stuff to talk about, right? This is just like, fair. That's basically where I am with it. So there you go. Star Trek Discovery, season 3, episode 1 shouldn't exist, but it does. The hope that is you. Part 1. My name is Sheila Beckett, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.